everybody, to our August 13th school board voting meeting. This time, we will have our pledge and moment of silence followed with our roll call. Mrs. Faust, go ahead when you're ready.
Dr. Faulkner.
Here.
Mr. Garman.
Here.
Dr. Green.
Here.
Mr. Gregg.
Here.
Mr. Hoffman.
Here.
Ms. Patterson.
Here.
Mr. Reichert.
Here.
Mr. Umbriak.
Here.
Mr. Reichert Jr.
Here. 1.3 minutes, July 9th, 2025, regular board meeting. The board will take action to approve the meeting minutes from the July 9th, 2025 regular board meeting as presented. Do I have a motion? And a second.
These are the official record, correct?
This is the official record of the board. That is correct, Dr. Green.
I motion.
Second.
Dr. Faulkner.
Yes.
Mr. Garman.
Yes.
Dr. Green.
Yes.
Mr. Gregg.
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman.
Yes.
Ms. Patterson.
Yes.
Mr. Reichert.
Yes.
Mr. Umbriak.
Yes.
Mr. Reichert Jr.
Yes. I'll take us to item 2, board administrative announcements. And that will take us to, I believe, our CMAT AVTS report. So I attended the committee of the whole meeting last night. They basically went over some of their policies and updated some verbiage in them. Other than that, there wasn't too much discussion. Our next meeting is next Tuesday night. They did do their teacher return days today and tomorrow, and their student return day is next Monday. How you?
I haven't been. I have not even officially nominated the board yet from their perspective. And I will be missing the meeting on the 20th. So I won't know till next month.
Okay. ITC. Head Start. Okay. CS Trust.
There's a meeting coming up October 16th. That's the only thing. That's our next meeting.
That'll take us to item 3 then, our superintendent's report, and I'll turn that over to Dr. Need.
Thank you. Mr. Ryan, if you want to move forward, I just have a brief long-range planning item from our discussion last week. Mr. Mavis will be sharing some financial information at the September Committee of the Whole, but I did just want to bring some documentation around the condition of the middle school since that was discussed next week. So if you advance one more slide, Mr. Ryan, you'll just see the rubric that Alloy 5 utilized in terms of their analysis of parts of all of our buildings. So a color code of like green being a good color, red being a bad color, and this sense in terms of the rating. So if you go to the next slide, you'll see where, so Danville Middle School got an overall orange rating of poor, meaning significant things needed to happen there within the next 1 to 3 years. The other sort of concerning number represented here is that the middle school is at 96% capacity. You really do want buildings to operate like around 80% capacity just for flexible space in terms of any changes in population you'd see, additions of special education classes, those kind of things. So that's sitting high in terms of capacity. If you go to the next slide, you'll see their rating of middle school in those 6 categories of site, building envelope, architecture, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing and fire, with subcategories. And basically the categories that would be rated as good mostly fall in our technology, so like things we've added to the building. But in terms of the structure of the building, you see most things rated from average to poor to critical. Where doors are rated as critical, there were a couple exterior doors that have been replaced already that were in that critical, needing immediate attention. If you go to the next slide, I'd like to thank Mr. George. I have 2 slides just to share that our maintenance team and Mr. George, as our Director of Buildings and Grounds, would say are pressing concerns at the middle school that would fall in that like next 1 to 3 years could require some attention. So you would see that the roof will be needing to be replaced. The glass along the auditorium, the front entryway, and the band rooms would need to be replaced with an approximate cost of $400,000 for demolition and new installation. The doors that we talked about last week, where they're not ADA compliant, so when you start doing any construction to the building, all doorways would have to be adjusted in the building. You'll see the boilers and the chiller are both 15 years old and nearing the end of their life. All were installed at the same time. Boiler 1 has already failed state inspection and is being repaired. Piping would need to be replaced. Lighting would need to be replaced. If you look at the next slide, the auditorium lighting and sound system specifically would need replacement. The doors and window panels at the gym for safety purposes should be updated. Kitchen freezer is beyond its lifespan. Most, if not all, plumbing fixtures, valves, and piping need replaced. 75% of those fixtures are original and the piping's failing. There was actually some plumbing repairs happening when I was in the middle school today. All classroom unit vents need replaced due to age. There are more exterior doors that would need to be replaced. We have replaced the ones that were in the most critical condition. If we wanted the middle school to be a permanent building, we would want to address the front office. All of our other offices do have a secured vestibule, so when you enter the building, you enter a vestibule area, then you enter the office, which is what's kind of standard practice for safety. At the middle school, when you're buzzed in, you're immediately in the office. We have set it up in all of our offices, just so you all are aware, and we talked about this in our emergency planning, that you do have to be buzzed out of the office into the main building. So once you're in an office, you don't have free reign of the building at all. And you'd notice when you came in here today, you see it at the high school, that we'd have put bollards in place for safety so that a vehicle couldn't drive into a building, but the sidewalks at the middle school aren't wide enough for that to happen because you have to be able to get around them as well. So that would be a recommended safety feature as well. So I thank Mr. George for putting that together. Just wanted to add that list sort of beyond the work that Alloy 5 had done too, to just paint a picture of why we either need to address the condition of the middle school or move away from the middle school, and it's becoming more pressing.
Getting 10 to 15 million with a bunch of unknown costs on top of that.
Yes, that's fair.
And a lifespan on the, estimated lifespan of the middle school, 3 years.
Yes.
Great.
And just to be clear, if I'm imagining it as a parent listening, right, what you want to know is, yes, there's substantial changes needed, but at present, it's not like the safety of the students is at risk in any way, shape, or form.
No, absolutely
Yeah.
not. And again, kudos
Just to
to
clarify
Mr.
that,
George
yeah.
and his team for being on top of anything that needs to
Yep.
happen. I would just say that anythings do keep growing and they address them immediately.
Right.
But at some point, we'd need to come to the board and say, okay, like the sort of patchwork we're doing isn't enough. It's time for the new roof or it's time for the new plumbing system. But they've done an outstanding job. And again, like I said, even with the safety features, like we've put in new badge IDs around every office door. We've changed exterior doors that were safety concerns. We're holding the place together.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone knew this was coming, and prior boards have just kicked it down the road
Yes.
instead of dealing with it. But we get to be unpopular for actually dealing with the problem as opposed to just kicking it down.
And so we will have this, I know that we usually discuss committee things like at committee of the whole, so we'll bring this back to September's committee of the whole, and Mr. Mavis will be prepared to share some financial information. There were just specific questions asked about, like, do we have enough knowledge about the middle school? So I at least just wanted to address that today, and then I'll bring that back to the board again in September. Any other questions or comments on that?
Well, I think we'd probably all agree this is something that we should probably start working on sooner than later.
Yeah, I think we need to go.
So
That's
probably
the
long-range
responsibility.
planning should start meeting a little more often and start, coming up with some kind of a plan on what we're gonna do.
Yeah, I think it will be helpful to look at the financial outlook to say, here's what's realistic, and okay, we've got to move forward on this plan.
I think that'll also dovetail to the possibility of new leadership in the long-range planning committee. That'll be helpful as later in the agenda.
All right, if you move to the next slide, Mr. Ryan, I just wanted to tell everyone that we're very excited for the 25-26 school year to start. Our staff has worked exceedingly hard to get our buildings and our curriculum and our professional development all ready for the school year. I'd like to shout out Mr. George and his team. They have done an exceptional job this summer. They tackle a ton of projects in just kind of a 2-month period of time, because it's easiest to tackle projects when students and teachers aren't here. I toured Liberty Valley today. Literally, those floors are like sparkling. Like, it is just a beautiful environment. I'm excited next week for open houses for students to be able to come back. I'd like to thank Mr. Ryan and his team. They do tons of work behind the scenes so that the internet works without even thinking about it here, that we have new security cameras up in places that we identified that we need that. He's got a team of 4, and they tackle everything across the district in the summer. Shout out to all of our academic leaders as well. The summer is a very busy place in making new culture initiatives for buildings, tweaking curriculum, planning professional development. Everybody's been very hard at work. Kudos to our teachers. As I've been in schools in the last couple of weeks, we have so many teachers giving up their time to come and make their rooms beautiful. If you toured the school, it already looks ready for the first day, and it's beautiful. So just a reminder to everyone that next week our teachers come back on Monday. They're with us on Monday and Tuesday for professional development. On Monday night from 3 to 6:30 p.m., we have open house, meet the teacher night at the high school and at Liberty Valley. And on Tuesday night from 3 to 6:30 p.m., we have meet the teacher night and open house here at the primary school and at the middle school. So we're really excited to welcome families back into the buildings. And then the first day of school for kids is Thursday, August 21st. And we're excited for them to come back. I've asked board members and their admin team members in their board reports to give you a sense of some of the projects that they're up to in the summer. I know sometimes people are like, what even happens in the summer? And it is a very busy time for us. So I will turn it over to our administrators to share a little bit about what they've been up to. We can start with Dr. Gump at the high school.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Need. So I'd like to publicly thank our guidance department, special ed department, and Mrs. Hughes, our co-op supervisor, for the time and energy they're putting into the student scheduling process at this time. So essentially, students and parents are working with them to get those final tweaks made to the scheduling process, which, as you know, you've heard a lot of updates over this past year, and it really is about a 10-month process from start to finish, and we're really excited to wrap that up and get the year going with our students and having terrific schedules in front of them on day one. The second part of my report is, as we look forward to the school year, we are excited to basically launch 3 major curriculum initiatives this year. The first one you've heard of before, but part 2 of our AP Capstone program, which is AP Research, is launching this year with Kyle Brady leading those 2 sections in our schedule. So he has taken part in his AP training this summer and is ready to begin that. So we're going to be fully on board with the AP Capstone program this year. Also, our new Algebra 1A and Algebra 1B sequence is now going to be starting this year. And this new sequence will allow for grade appropriate instruction while providing necessary supports for our students along the way. And in a very similar way, our Foundations of Biology 1 and Biology 2 also launched. So Biology 1 was last year, Biology 2 will be this year. And again, they'll be aligned to the new Steele's standards. And just like the algebra courses, it provides that age-appropriate, grade-appropriate instruction along with the necessary student support. So we're excited for those curriculum initiatives at the high school. Mr. V?
Yeah, so this year we are launching a new Teammate of the Month program. This initiative will highlight attributes such as sportsmanship, leadership, effort, coachability, and selflessness. Coaches will nominate deserving athletes by the 20th of each month. And then along with those selections, our athletic director and the admin team and some others will make selections of those students for Teammate of the Month. Thank you to BSN Sports, which provides a lot of our gear to our sports programs. They are kind of hosting this initiative for us to give the students a gift and a reward. We'll have certificates for the students, but then also we'll highlight them on our monthly newsletter and then also in and around our building on our monitors and things like that. Tom?
At the middle school, I want to just say that though the building itself is somewhat in question over the coming years, we are absolutely committed to the 515 students we serve every day. And we will continue to strive to improve our services to those kids. And this summer, we made some really great strides forward. I do want to thank Mr. George and his crew for this summer's work. The building is looking great. We have had a great number of teachers coming in to plan, to strategize, to look at PSSA data and create some curricular improvements for this year. We've spent a great deal of time working on the building schedule, not only taking PSSA and Keystone data into account, but putting thoughtful placement of students into specific sections of classes where they will be challenged and thrive. We are excited to launch a couple of new initiatives this year, including a before school time where students will be able to receive direct help from ELA and math teachers every day of the school year. We are calling it Rise and Thrive. In terms of school culture, we are committed to being a warm, supportive, and proud school every day that building is in operation. So to that effect, tomorrow night, we're welcoming the Graphic Hive from Williamsport into the building to install a 10-foot floor decal at the main intersection. It says Danville Middle School has the Arm & Hammer, put some branding items around the building, and make it really feel like we are proud to be Ironmen. Our teachers also at the end of last school year departmentalized. We moved away from what was an older model when we had a different level of staffing in the building. We've moved to a model like the high school where all of the ELA teachers, all of the social studies teachers, and all of the departments are grouped together to make some continuity within the building. Last, we have a few PBIS initiatives that we plan to reward students at a higher level for achievement. And students who try hard and students who achieve will then be rewarded with opportunities to do fun things. This is all in an effort to create and foster a culture of high achievement in our school.
Thank you. Dr. Snover, Liberty Valley.
All right, good evening. I would also like to echo what was already said. A huge shout out to our maintenance and custodial crews. The buildings, all of the buildings do look excellent. They really are really exciting to walk into. They're shining and from ceiling to floor. So this summer, stepping into a new role in a new school, I had a learning curve that really I did spend a good portion of the summer kind of wrapping my head around new ways of doing things. Not that it's that much different from middle school in processes, but they're different enough that I certainly needed to spend some time figuring out what works and what doesn't work and how to make it work for my own sanity. I have a lot of people to thank for helping me and continuing to help me. There's excellent teachers out at Liberty Valley, and I've actually spent a lot of this summer working with a number of them just to, dive into their curriculum and some of the cultural things that they already have in place out there. I'd also really like to say thank you to Dr. Reinert and Ms. Wenrick for, their support. They've both been very helpful as I, learn what Liberty Valley is all about. I met this morning with our building leads, and we spent a couple hours really talking through some of the cultural initiatives that they already have in place at Liberty Valley and ways that we want to continue to expand on making our school inviting, welcoming, warm, a community for our students and our staff. I have the luxury of walking into what is already an excellent school in so many ways, and I really look forward to just taking that and continuing to grow with it in the next however many years. So thank you for the opportunity.
Thanks. At DPS, we're very excited to welcome families and students back into the building next week. It's been great seeing our staff back. The building has come back to life. You can feel the excitement. The bulletin boards are starting to pop, so we're ready to go. This year, our team, I feel like we're running full steam ahead as we enter the year. After we put many systems in place this past year, this year, I feel like we're in that refinement phase where we can actually kind of focus on the fine-tuned details of the little things now that we want to continue to improve as a building. Over the summer, we've spent a lot of time to ensure that intervention blocks were locked into all teachers' schedules. This is the first time in my career at Danville that I feel like we have all of the resources and support in place for all academic areas beyond just the Title I reading program. So all classrooms will have writing support this year, and we also have a new system for students to get additional math support. As we enter the school year, I feel like we're in a position to continue to do what we do very well, and that's educate our kids, but to just do it even better. Our vision and our goals as a team are very clear. We can focus on those fine-tuned details, make additional improvements to just have that overall student achievement. Today, we also met with our building leads. It was supposed to be a 1-hour meeting. It ended up being 3 hours, where the creative energy was just flowing, and we have lots of great ideas to just focus on fun days for students and teachers or PBIS systems to just make this culture very enjoyable for all. I am really proud of our team's commitment this past year. I'm excited to see what we can do this year. I'm sure I'll have updates for you along the way, but for now, just know we're ready.
At Head Start, we took a very big dive into our data management plan. We did not replace our data service assistant. So we redid all of our family outcomes data, our education data, and just really developed a new plan, and just really excited to see how all of that pans out throughout the school year. Our teachers have been doing initial home visits, so each child gets a home visit by their teacher in August, part of the transition plan. So it's just really neat for the students to see their teacher in their home environment, and then they were here tonight. Half of them were here tonight at our parent orientation open house, and it's just so nice to meet the families and see the children go into the classroom. They get to see their cubby and their picture. We had the second group come tomorrow night, and it just makes it all worth it. Like, it just, seeing all of that that's why we're here. It's good.
Dr. Reinert, if you want to tell us about the world of curriculum, and then we'll head on down to special ed and mental health.
So last week you saw a lot of data, but I think it's really important to recognize that although my office spent the summer organizing and analyzing that data and sending out to principals, the important piece is that we are actually talking about the data. So we're not just collecting it, we're not just putting it in these big fancy spreadsheets. My office is spending an incredible amount of time sitting down, actually looking at the data, talking with principals, meeting with teachers, and just making sure that things are in place and our curriculum is in place, things are up to date, our scope and sequences are focused on continuous improvement. So I just want to highlight that, in this role, it's a little bit different than, the role that it was before, but I'm spending so much of my time just making sure that we are focused on continually improving our academics in this district. We have an amazing group of teachers, amazing administrators, and I feel like it's my job to make sure I'm supporting them in that role. Also, making sure that we are up to date with our federal programs, making sure that, dates are being hit, things are being done on, behind the scenes to make sure that we continue to function as well as we are. Tomorrow we'll be welcoming our new teachers to the district. Our induction plan was a 1-year plan. The state now requires it to be a 2-year plan, so spending a lot of time this summer making sure we had a really comprehensive 2-year plan so that our new teachers have everything they need to feel supported and understand ethics of being a teacher, and just having, like I said, the support they need to continue to provide an amazing education for all of our students. So just want to highlight that it's, not a super glamorous position in terms of I'm not in front of kids anymore. I'm not in front of, the district like I once was as a principal, but I'm spending all of my time behind the scenes just making sure things are in place so that we can continue to improve.
All right, thank you. Everybody, to the world of intervention and special education. It's been like a whirlwind of a summer, just kind of having the team together. It was my first summer here, so just really getting to see what happened last year, but also having the time just to spend with people. Slow down, what went well, what didn't go well, and then work for improvement. So I just really wanted to thank everybody who dedicated the time this summer of coming in to promote the program and the development. We appreciate the hard work that everybody put into ensuring that the report cards were aligned with standards and that promoting educational rigor. We've been working with community members to increase work experience for our students who receive services. So not just those that are inside the building working, but also just a huge shout out to the community for just welcoming our students into their jobs and careers. So we're excited to expose them to more things. We're continuing to make improvements on our programs and ensuring continuum of services that we offer unique to each student and streamlining the processes of offering that. The time was just really spent getting to talk to students, to families, as well as teachers, and just making sure that everybody feels supported and that we have what we need, not only for the tiers of intervention that we need to do, but just making sure that each child and family felt heard, seen, and that they're getting a unique experience here at Danville.
So I'm getting down to the end. We had a busy summer for the other, also within the special ed and intervention department. A big initiative that we took on was developing and expanding the MTSS process. So we updated the manual that we shared with you all last year, and now we are including interventions. So those interventions is now in a bank that the teachers can easily access, and it's going to be shared with them next week at the PD, at the professional development, and it's going to contain practical and easy to use research-based interventions for academics, behaviors, and for social emotional activities and learnings and ways for students to better find coping mechanisms and skills to use in the regular education classroom so that we can provide services before they nip things in the bud before they get too far. In speaking of that, we've also taken on the reading specialists in developing a continuum and continuity between Danville Primary School and Liberty Valley to make sure that we're providing interventions that continue from K through 5 in fluency, in comprehension, and phonics. So we've been just expanding that, and we're going to expand that as the year goes on. And like everybody else has stated, we just want to thank everybody for helping us to get ready for the school year. Our assistant, Miss Dana Ernest, has all of our meetings scheduled until June of 2026. So we know exactly where we're going to be in May. So thank you for that, and thank you for everybody who helped get us ready for the upcoming school year.
The mental health department also had a relatively busy summer. I completed annual evaluations on all staff, which includes goals for the 25-26 school year. We've been working on becoming fluent in our new EMR therapy appointment, and providers have been inputting some student data, trying to get ahead of the curve so we can kind of hit the ground running when students return. We also completed our last official training with Denise. She's a software trainer for a therapy appointment. That was today. And I'm pleased to announce that we completed credentialing for CCBH and GHP for all of our licensed providers, which is a big step in meeting our goals. And we did have a new provider orientation through CCBH yesterday. And lastly, the services we provide this summer I think were very valuable. We saw a total of 30 students across all buildings for 53 sessions. So I think it's very important how we were available and meeting the needs of some students that we identified that could use that help and support throughout the summer.
Thank you all. Just a shout out to the whole team. I feel very privileged to work with such an exceptional team who worked exceedingly hard this summer for us to be ready for a great year.
Can I ask a quick special ed question?
Of course.
I'm just curious. So, do we have data on special ed resource utilization, like say 5 years ago or 10 years ago? Like what services were being used, how much money we were spending?
We would have it somewhere.
I was just sort of curious whether, I mean, you guys have done a tremendous amount of work actually making the MTSS functional and trying to catch kids at lower levels of intervention before they get to higher. I would be sort of idly curious whether we by putting something like this in place. Because intuitively, I would have thought we would. I mean, there is an aspect where we're now catching more kids and doing more things at lower levels for more kids. But I would expect the cost of doing that would be much less than higher level interventions for kids. Yeah.
Where we have we're meeting it. So we have seen the number of evaluations.
Yeah.
But
I see.
so like the identification.
So they're the leftovers from the previous
Yes.
system.
But like one of the main qualifiers for special ed is when there is that learning gap. So if we can close that in K-2, which is what Ms. Wenrick's talking about, then
Right.
they won't be identified. So we still have some numbers from previous work, if you
Right.
will, but we're seeing that gap closing and those numbers decrease.
It's
in
got a long
terms of-
tail. It takes a long time to
It
clear out.
does. The other thing that I'd just like to just shout out specifically what Ms. Delgado and Ms. Wenrick were talking about in terms of the work they're doing with interventions, are we're trying to make sure that every intervention we do with a student is first of all research-based, so that we're not just saying a kid needs an intervention, go make that up.
Right.
So like you're doing something that's research-based and trying to make our intervention bank so targeted that it's like, if you have a specific problem with like attending, that we have resources that would help a kid with that. If you're just struggling with simplifying a fraction, we'd have resources around like fraction work. And so a teacher can go to a online resource bank and find a very targeted plan for a kid or a group of kids.
I just keep listening every time I listen to the administrators that there are a lot of things that we're doing that are things that are good for the kids, but also have a big potential to decrease the resource utilization in the district itself, inappropriate resource
Sure.
utilization. And so I just keep thinking about ways to actually quantify that data and share it. I mean, much like the question I asked last time about the data surrounding mental health usage, I just keep thinking, you know, any way that we can demonstrate to the public that not only we're doing better by the kids, but it's actually costing the district less money to do a good thing. So I just keep, when I listen to you guys, I'm thinking of prior data, but I understand, you know, not only a long tail, but a lot of these things, the data wasn't well kept previously.
And
There may be a way we can paint that a little bit more clearly, and we can talk about how to do that. Another thing I'd like to shout out that we can maybe think about how to demonstrate next month more clearly is we are utilizing reading specialists a little bit differently than we have in the past, and have additional person going to Valley from the primary school. And in conversations with administrators at Valley and DPS, I think we're actually having like more time for intervention with kids than we have before, but same number of bodies.
Right.
So just trying to be, knowing that personnel is our largest cost, are we truly using everybody in the best ways possible?
Yeah, I just keep thinking of ways to show off the good things you guys are doing, that's all.
did I hear you say that there's less, you guys are doing less evaluations? Yes, right. Right.
So then less
I
special
mean,
ed evaluations.
Right, that's what I mean, because a special ed evaluation, I mean, this is a comprehensive, time-intensive, resource-heavy process. So like that on its own is saving time and money. And as a school psychologist, very rarely are school psychologists in positions where they can do anything but test in place, right? So the less evaluations they have, the more they have time to commit the expertise and training they have towards, you know. So the other thing too, and Artie in his humility sort of glossed over this, what it takes to get enrolled with CCBH is a massive undertaking.
Monumental task.
And we want to talk about saving money. Well, now we're moving to a place where we can be providing reimbursable services and supports that meets the needs of the district, but also then cuts costs for the services and supports that we're providing. And it takes a lot of work to do what you've done to get that over the finish line. I know from personal experience that sort of trial, right? And so I didn't want to gloss over that too much, but also it aligns with what you're talking about.
I just keep thinking about whenever there's a conversation about where the biggest sort of money sucks are for the bang that we get back, it's special education and it's cyber, right? That's not in-house. And so, you know, anytime we can show that we're doing a good job at providing good services but reducing those expenses and or doing better than the cyber schools are by having someone in-house, it's worthwhile trying to produce that data and show it off.
I'd be curious the impact of some of the mental health work on keeping kids from going to cyber. I mean, intuitively that would make sense. If you can help a kid get re-engaged in the school building that they're in, they're less likely to have to pay a lot of money for these cyber programs. And honestly, the outcomes are better. I mean, in general. So, anyways.
Well, thank you. That is the end of superintendent report.
Okay. I guess that'll move us to our next section, which would be public comment. So public comment, max of 3 minutes for agenda items only. Take a comment, I would like to remind you that it is about agenda items at this time. Other public comment can be made at the end of the meeting. So if there is nothing about the agenda tonight, we will move forward. Nothing in presentations, outside guests, nothing in school property and supplies. So it'll move us to number 7, athletics and activities. 7.1, out-of-state trip. The board will take action to approve an out-of-state trip for the Danville FFA to the Eastern State Exposition, Big E, 2025, leaving September 12th, 2025, and returning September 14th, 2025. The trip will be of no cost to the district.
Motion.
Second.
I'm sorry, who was second?
Let Whiz Bang have it.
His bag.
Mr. Garmin.
Yes.
Dr. Green.
Yes.
Mr. Gregg.
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman.
Yes.
Ms. Patterson.
His glory.
Mr. Reichard.
Yes.
Mr. Umbriak.
Yes.
Dr. Faulkner.
Yes.
Mr. Reichard Jr.
Yes. Take us to section 8, academic affairs. 8.1, the board will take action to approve academic affairs items 8.2 through 8.6. Take a moment to look over them. Side with what you see.
Motion.
Second.
Dr. Green.
Yes.
Mr. Gregg.
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman.
Yes.
Ms. Patterson. Mr. Reichard.
Yes.
Mr. Umbriak.
Yes.
Dr. Faulkner.
Yes.
Mr. Garmin.
Yes.
Mr. Reichard Jr.
Yes. Nothing under school and community relations. Take us to item 10, finance. 10.1 and 10.2 are just finance reports. 10.3 for bills for payment. Board will take action to approve the bills for payment from July 2nd, 2025 through August 6th, 2025 as presented.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Gregg.
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman.
Yes.
Ms. Patterson.
Yes.
Mr. Reichard. Mr. Umbriak.
Yes.
Dr. Faulkner.
Yes.
Mr. Garmin.
Yes.
Dr. Green.
Yes.
Mr. Reichard Jr.
Abstain. 10.5, finance consent items. The board will take action to approve finance consent items 10.6 through 10.10. For those, if anybody has any questions? Satisfied with what you're reading? May I have a motion in a second so we can proceed?
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Hoffman.
Yes.
Ms. Patterson. Mr. Reichert.
Yes.
Mr. Umbriak.
Yes.
Dr. Faulkner.
Yes.
Mr. Garmin.
Yes.
Dr. Green.
Yes.
Mr. Gregg.
Yes.
Mr. Reichert Jr.
Yes. Take us to personnel consent items. The board will take action to approve personnel items 11.2 through 11.26 with the removal of 11.3 at Dr. Need's discretion. I'll let her explain why.
Actually, 11.13, sorry.
11 point-
yes.
11.13, sorry.
That is the approval of a long-term substitute. We're sad to lose this person, but they accepted a full-time position in another district yesterday. So we'll be finding, so 11.13 will not be part of the consent.
There's also no 11.26,
That's what I was just gonna say too.
just as a.
Well, then we'll take that out too, if there's nothing to approve
Uh-oh.
there.
Three on here.
Despite the rumors, we do try to pay attention to what we're voting on.
That takes us to 11.2 through 11.25 with no 11.13.
The board will take action to approve personnel items 11.2 to 11.25 with the removal of 11.13.
Motion.
Second.
With a lapse in my leadership, Dr. Green, I apologize.
Okay. Picking up the slack for you.
Appreciate it.
Just improve your maturity and you'll be all right.
Trying, one thing at a time.
Ms. Patterson. Mr. Reichert. Mr. Umbriak.
Yes.
Dr. Faulkner.
Yes.
Mr. Garmin.
Yes.
Dr. Green.
Yes.
Mr. Gregg.
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman.
Yes.
Mr. Reichert Jr.
Yes. Takes us to number 12, policy and insurance. Board will take action to approve policy and insurance items 12.2 through 12.7. They all are there.
Well done.
Props to Mrs. Faust on that. When you're happy with what you're reading, may I have a motion and a second so we can continue?
Motion.
Mr. Reichert.
Yes.
Mr. Umbriak.
Yes.
Dr. Faulkner.
Yes.
Mr. Garmin.
Yes.
Dr. Green.
Yes.
Mr. Gregg.
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman.
Yes.
Ms. Patterson.
Yes.
Mr. Reichert Jr.
Yes. 13, transportation. Board will take action to approve transportation items 13.2 and 13.3 as presented. Board members have the option to remove any of these for discussion or to be voted on individually. Perfect, okay. So, do we have a motion and a second?
Motion. Second.
Mr. Umbreak,
Yes.
Dr. Faulkner,
Yes.
Mr. Garmin,
Yes.
Dr. Green,
Yep.
Mr. Gregg,
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman,
Yes.
Ms. Patterson, Mr. Reichert, Mr. Reichert Jr.
Abstain. That will take us to item 14, board concerns and items for next meeting agenda.
I have a small thing. Thank you card. Yesterday was the grand opening of the tennis courts. I happened to be there, and they are beautiful. And they're like USTA colors. And one of the coolest things about it is they intentionally painted lines so that we could have junior tennis players on the courts. I think it's good for many reasons. Mr. Mavis, you know this better than I do, but on the one hand, that allows us to apply for a grant that could allow us to cover up to half of the cost of the installation. But also, you think about the future of a sport, it allows us to have younger players on those courts practicing. They even have special balls for age groups. That's something I didn't know about. What I thought was really cool. But it was a cool event. The players were excited, and I think they have 17 players on the team, so it's clearly a growing and popular sport for tennis. And so it's something that's going to be utilized not only by the athletes and faculty and staff, but also by community members. So, we appreciate that. As a community member, I appreciate that because they're beautiful courts.
And on the subject of that, again, Mr. George, Mr.
Free
Mavis.
food.
Yeah, kudos to the two of you for your hard work and dedication to that project, keeping on top of them, making sure everything went well. It's very much appreciated. Very much appreciated. Like Dr. Green referenced earlier, these are some of the things that were dumped on our plate that we are mopping up and fixing. That was one of them. And I'm very happy to know that we had two people involved in the project to oversee it, to make sure it went the way it should have went the first time. We wouldn't have been in this situation, but glad the two of you are here to look after them. And I know the two of you are doing the same with the gym floor, and I appreciate it.
With the start of fall sports this week, I had a opportunity to be down there on the field a little bit, and I just want to touch on our potential field needs. 3 teams practicing on that turf field at one time is a lot, and I know we've got a lot of building plans to work on, but I think we need to continue to visit across the road here. What it looks like, I don't know. We need to move on it. We need practice field. We need space. We've got a lot of teams, and Brian's not here tonight, but we've talked in the past. We mirror 6A schools with the amount of sports we have, and in some ways, single A fields. We just don't have practice space. So I just think it's important I know we got some big money to spend in other places as well. I just don't want to see us forget about that. That's been sitting over there for a while. So.
And to kind of piggyback on that too, one thing we have to keep in the back of our heads also is the turf field itself.
Certainly, if we had talked about this when we've talked about fields, when it's time to replace that turf field, we would have cost savings if we put in new turf.
Yeah.
Like the stuff with the middle school, it's something that should have already been done and taken care of and was just kicked down the road in years past.
I think it's a great opportunity for the Ironman Foundation to start to
Absolutely.
show up.
Yep. I mean, if you look at other districts in the area that started with this and added here and, every year, I think Lewisburg is one I was just at for a baseball game this year, and they did a lot of upgrades, in that behind the school area where all their fields are. But it's, it started as this, it moved to this the next time you're there. It just, yeah.
Their Green Dragon Foundation.
Yeah.
You all are obviously aware, but we did just elect the first officers of the Ironman Foundation Board, and they'll have their first meeting on September 17th. Certainly, this is the kind of work that foundations often get involved in.
And there's a lot of people who really love Danville sports, show the appreciation for it.
Nothing else? We will now move to public comment. None?
I just want to thank some public members for actually being here. I mean, you're always welcome, and we do appreciate you coming. Not you.
Are you referring to Anna when you said that?
Yeah.
He gave
She
her
gave
a-
me the thumbs up, and I said nothing.
You're always welcome to, Anna.
We'll take you too.
So if there's nothing else, then I guess we'll adjourn. Everybody have a good night. No executive session? Wow, we're even free to go.
God bless.
All right, have a good night, everybody.